This is Joe Slattery sitting in for Red Foley tonight with a show full of entertainment. And to make sure everybody's ready, I better call the roll here. First of all, Lou Childry. Hey! And Scoop Fisher. Hey, you are Miss Susie Arden. Harold and Jimmy. Carl Ballou. And, of course, Cousin Minnie Pearl. There's going to be a whole lot of family-type entertainment coming your way. Once again, from the heart of the Ozarks, it's Jubilee USA, brought to you by Massey Ferguson and your Massey Ferguson dealer. Massey Ferguson, pace setter of modern farming, makers of the world's most famous combines, and the only tractors with the Ferguson system. And before we continue down this roster for a double check to make sure everyone is present and accounted for, too, I'd like to remind you of Carter's Little Liver Pills, the only leading laxative with proof, clinical proof, that it improves liver bile flow that breaks down fat while relieving irregularity. You know, I think it's awfully nice of Red to have turned the show over to me on the first week of his vacation. It's really something that most announcers dream about, a show of their own. Good old Red. And I hope that as we go along...
Joe!
Huh?
Hey, look, I'm real happy for you to take over my spot on the show, but just don't stand there grinning like a possum, will you?
But what do you mean, Red?
The show on the road. Okay, if you won't, then I will, because it's time to bring on that wonderful little showman. A nice, warm welcome, if you will, please, for Dr. Lou Childry.
Thank you a whole lot, Red. Boy, I wish you was here with us tonight, I'll declare. I believe you could help the old doctor sell some Lou's Supreme fishing poles. But I've got the front door key here with me, so maybe we might, kindly from the Jubilee USA, offer that key to all of our good friends that we have visiting with us from foreign countries tonight. We've got some from Japan, and we've got some from Germany. I heard them today on the radio, and they're here tonight. So we're mighty happy to have you. And, boys, I am really ready here, the old doctor is. You know it? I hope this here two-quart Stella gets me as many hamburgers in the future as it has in the past. You know, I think I'll get along all right. Behave yourself. Well, now, Percy Wilson Gay, oh, he left his wife every day. Then she would always say, be home on time. He promised her he would, and swore that he'd be good. But Percy never could quite settle down. Cause when his work was through, he'd find a friend or two. Then they'd just play around the town. Really called his wife up every night at home. And this is what he'd say on the telephone. He'd say, hang out that front door key, love. Hang out that front door key. Don't you wait up for me, love. I'll maybe out till 3. Well, I'm with some poor sick friends, love, who do the same for me. So leave a light in the hall tonight and hang out the front door key. Now one night when Mr. Percy got home, he found himself alone. Where the mother'd gone, he knew not where. Although it served right, he had an awful fright to think he couldn't find her there. Well, then she called him up to 3. Lou, whoopie, Pappy, I'm out of the U.S. Jubilee, and this is me. I seem to be home all alone. I'm with some friends of mine, having some good a time. I don't know just when I'll get home. On the table there, he found a little note. Well, he opened it, and this is what Mama done wrote.
What she wrote?
Well, she done wrote, hang out the front door key, love. Hang out the front door key. Don't you wait up for me, love. I think the Mama will be out after 3. Well, I'm with some poor sick friends, love, who do the same for me. So leave a light in the hall tonight and hang out the front door key.
That was Lou Childry, ladies and gentlemen, as welcome here as you are at your Massey Ferguson dealers. And whether Red Foley believes it or not, I could have introduced him as well. Fine thing. Red hiding up there in the rafters somewhere. You'd think I didn't have sense enough to say, don't go away now because we'll be right back.
Oh, Brother Bart, you'll have to excuse me right now. I have some business to take care of.
Now, that's just about the same business I was thinking of. I'll tell you what, seeing we both have the same interests, let's cut cards.
We were just fooling. As you know, there's only one Queen of Hearts. But the Mavericks on Sunday nights have plenty of them. Seriously.
Yes, very seriously. If you like action, suspense, romance, and comedy, tune in to Maverick on Sunday night on ABC. Brother Brent, shall we start again?
Bart finds trouble on the trail tomorrow over most of these stations.
Hey, promenading the hills, no big fat up and around the go. Now join your hands, Cisco South, in the sunshine in love. Hey, reverse sail along that line, lady, leave your lips behind, girl, let's pretty good right on home, and you swing your lead mine along. Let's go around, left hand lady. She's so round and put a little tall. Hey, let's just tell Mandy. Hey, right in left, and go back three. You count them all and have a little fun. 1, 2, 3, and go back one. Now take that little bitty old left hand all the way around like a left fellow man, and head go right left hand. All right, step right along and then meet your honey in a promenade lane. Promenade go round, we're gonna go through the word is set. Hey, 1 and 3, you buy and swing, go round and around and they will sing. Hey, lick right up to the right, when you surf, oh, you do it fine, you break your head and come big line. Hey, forward, hey, back to plunger. Right, you're up in the head, cover and just hey, we're not gonna go like that. Hey, let's get it up once more. On to the next, you serve four. Surf, oh, you do it fine, side, you pick it up on big line. Hey, forward, hey, back to plunger. Hey, just look inside, cover and just hey, we're not gonna go like that. Yes, duck and duck once more, and on to the next you serve four. Surf all around, go to where back and down to you. Head up, high, don't be low. Now let's go see and let's go down. Hey, back to you, honey, and home we go. You promenade, go round that hall. Now promenade, ain't you promenade on. Hey, two head ladies, chain a call. Turn boys, you don't get long. Hey, thank you, up the promenade, three, going around with a pretty little maid. Hey, in between the old side two and the 3/4 square. This what you do. You're laying round, look out, man. Now there's a corner, left out, man. Go right, left out. All right, in the left, let's go with you. Promenade off, kick right to you. Promenade right off that floor. That's all laid on the floor.
The Jubilee Promenaders and Mr. L.D. Keller calling. I don't see how he calls as fast as he does, but he does. You know, I spoke about Red being on vacation. Actually, it's a busman's holiday, though. Tomorrow, he's going to be at Stoughton, Wisconsin, and then on Wednesday and Thursday, you can see him personally at Seymour, Wisconsin. And somebody you can see right now is the Jubilee's own frustrated Lothario, Shug Fisher.
Hey, Slim. 3 weeks now they've been playing that cotton pick. Here comes your bride. Well, I guess they got a right to. I told them I was planning on getting married. Well, I found one, boy. Me and her. Well, it ain't that serious, but anyhow, I found out she's worth $1,500,000. And we used to say in Oklahoma, that ain't hay, brother. Well, then I turned on the old Fisher charm, and I just come right out, I tried to impress her about being out in Hollywood, and making pictures. My old friends were Roy Rogers and the Sons of the Pioneers. Asked her if I could kiss her, I did. And I told her, I said, my kisses act just like lightning. And she said, well, why don't you stop thundering around and strike somewhere then? Well, we cleaned. I just come out and I asked her, I said, will you marry me?
She said, no. And I said, I didn't think you would. She said, why did you ask me? And I said, I just wanted to see how a man would feel who just lost $1,500,000. And that's what you get for talking too much. And that's what I want to talk to you fellas about tonight, too. You ladies ain't gonna like this because I don't talk nice about you, but it's just a song. Oh, that's the hard part right in there. If you don't talk too much, you won't get into too trouble. But if you talk too much, your troubles will be double twice as many. I was walking down the street and met a pretty girl, and she says to me, she says, hello. And I said, how do you do, one do. She said, why don't we go in some nice restaurant and you buy me something to eat? And I said, who are you talking to? She said, you. And I said, who? And she said, you. And I said, me. And she said, yes. And I said, well, I hardly know you, a woman. I just mind my own business. I ain't got no money. It's a long time to pay to the company's on strike. I can't afford it. I took her, though. Well, after she got through eating, she just kept sitting there, yappity-yappity-yap, like women will. And I saw the waiter coming. He handed me the biggest bill and said, that's for you, Shug. I looked him in the eyeballs and I said, who are you talking to? He said, you. And I said, who? And he said, you. And I said, me. And he said, yes. And I said, well, hold your horses, Sylvester. $18.50 for a cup of coffee and a salad won't pay it. Call my manager. I'll go to jail. I turned here and well, I paid it, though, boy. Well, I don't know how it all happened, but the first thing I knew, we were standing up in front of a preacher. And he was saying, do, one do. Do you take this woman to be your lawful wedded woman? I said, who are you talking to? He said, you. And I said, who? And he said, you. And I said, me. And he said, yes. And I said, well, hold her, Parson. I hardly know this woman. I just bought her a cup of coffee and a sandwich. Well, I kissed her cup of... her mama ain't gonna lie. She's awful young. I married her, though. Well, when we got home that night, I was tired. I was wishing I was dead. And about 2 in the morning, she was feeling fine. And she said, hubby? Well, I was then. She said, hubby, go fix me some breakfast. And I said, who are you talking to? She said, you. And I said, who? And she said, you. And I said, me. And she said, yes, hubby. And I said, now listen, woman, if you think for 1 minute I'm going to start doing the kill, I will hit you right between the horns. I'm telling you something from now on, boy, you marry, and me and you, so how do you like your eggs cooked, darling?
One redhead around here is off on vacations with Georgia. Another one is all set to go, having just returned from several weeks' absence. Without a doubt, the prettiest redhead on this show, Miss Susie Art.
I gave my love a cherry. It had no stones. I gave my love a chicken. It had no bones. I gave my love a story. It had no end. I gave my love a baby with no crying. How can there be a cherry that has no stone? How can there be a chicken that has no bones? How can there be a story that has no end? How can there be a baby with no crying? A cherry, when it's blooming, it has no stone. A chicken, when it's peppered, it has no bone. The story of my love, dear, it has no end. My baby, when it's sleeping, there's no crying.
Garden. I know Red, who is watching us tonight, really enjoyed that number, too. In just a minute, two boys are coming out here I know everyone is going to enjoy, Harold Morrison and Jimmy Gately. But first, when irregularity leaves you with that full, sluggish, fatty feeling, take Carter's Little Liver Pills, and here's why.
A leading medical textbook reports that to break down fat in the body, you should have a sufficient flow of liver bile. Watch this demonstration.
The fat globules in this flask are blocked. The microscope shows why. They're too big to pass through the opening. But when liver bile is added, the fat globules are broken down and pass through easily. In your body, too, liver bile helps break down fat. And Carter's Little Liver Pills is the only laxative with proof, clinical proof, that it improves liver bile flow while it unblocks the digestive tract. Remember, many of your favorite foods reach the digestive tract in the form of large fat globules. And Carter's Little Liver Pills stimulate your liver bile flow that helps break down fat globules, unblocks them for easier and more complete digestion. So whenever you feel sluggish, headachy, nervous, and need a laxative, get Carter's and stimulate bile flow that breaks down fat while relieving irregularity. Carter's Little Liver Pills.
To North Carolina I did go. There I met a pretty maiden. Her age and name I did not know. Her age and name I did not know. Her hair was of a dark brown color, and her cheeks were rosy red. On her dress she wore white lilies. Oh, the tears that I have shed. Oh, the tears that I have shed. Mama said we cannot marry. Papa says it'll never do. If you'd only learn to love me, I will run away with you. I will run away with you. I'd rather be in some dark hollow where the sun won't ever shine than to be another's darling and to know she'll never be mine, and to know she'll never be mine.
Harold Morrison and Jimmy Gately are singing and a kicking over there, too. You know, every field of entertainment has its greats, names that are synonymous with that field. And when it comes to country entertainment, there is nobody better known than Cousin Minnie Pearl.
Oh, looks like Uncle Nabob. Nice-looking feller, ain't he? Well, sir, I'll tell you, talking about Uncle Nabob and the 4th of July last week puts me in the mind of all these here rockets, you know, they've been a-talking about. Why, goodness gracious alive, my Uncle Nabob has been interested in space travel for 20 years. I'll never forget one 4th of July, Uncle Nabob decided that he was going to take a rocket trip to the moon. He was already as high as he could get without the rocket. Well, see, he went down to Semp Sewell's fireworks thing. Semp Sewell, you heard me? Well, sir, he went down there, and he got him a great big old skyrocket, biggest one Semp had. Cost all of $1.35. And he got that there rocket, and he strapped it on his back, and Brother lit the fuse, and just before Brother lit the fuse, you ought to seen Uncle Nabob standing there. We was all excited. Here was Uncle Nabob going into outer space. And Uncle Nabob was standing there counting 1 for the money, 2 for the show, 3 to make ready, and 4 to go. Brother lit the fuse. There was an awful blinding flash, and Uncle Nabob was driven into the ground up to his knees. He had the rocket strapped on upside down. Well, after that would have stopped a whole lot of people, but not Uncle Nabob. He went back down to Simp Sewell's. Went back down to Simp Sewell's fireworks stand and got another rocket just like the first and strapped it on right this time. And I thought, oh, me, this is the last I'll ever see of Uncle Nabob. Brother lit the fuse. There was a blinding flash. And you know what happened? Uncle Nabob's hat, coat, vest, shirt, and the upper part of his long handles just sailed out of sight. Now remember that Uncle Nabob was the first man on earth to ever send his laundry to the moon. Thank you. Well, I guess it's time I got to go over to the corn crib to see that cute short order cook. And have I got a short order for him? Before I go, I promised Red I'd ask all you folks to make this next young, handsome man feel comfortable. From Shreveport, Louisiana, Carl Ballou.
But that won't stop my loving you. I just can't let you walk away. Forget the love I have for you. Yes, I could find somebody too. But I don't want no one but you. How can you leave without regret? Am I that easy to forget? Before you leave, be sure you find you want his love much more than mine. 'Cause I'll just say we've never met. If I'm that easy to forget, I could find somebody too. But I don't want no one but you. I couldn't leave without regret. You're not that easy to forget. Before you leave, be sure you find you want his love much more than mine. 'Cause I'll just say we've never met. If I'm that easy to forget.
Every week, Fred sings one song on this show that is really becoming popular, and seeing how I'm sitting in for him tonight, I thought I'd try it. It goes like this. Slim, you start.
He's a get up early, keep 'em rolling, Massey Ferguson kind of a man.
This is the Massey Harris family of self-propelled World Harvest Champions. And here's the new member of the family, the Massey Harris 72 Combine, specifically designed to bring you high-capacity, high-efficiency Massey Harris combining at a surprisingly moderate cost. A streamlined ground-hugging silhouette plus individual wheel brakes give you remarkable handling ease and maneuverability. And all those other world-proven Massey Harris features are working for you all the time. With either a 10 or 12-foot table feeding that Massey Harris balance separation system, you're getting all the grain you're cutting in even the heaviest stands. 3 new long straw walkers add to the 72's high-capacity performance. If you're looking for a high-capacity combine with a surprisingly low price tag, see this one before you buy. The new Massey Harris 72, another Pace Center product of Massey Ferguson.
And that 72 will show its worth in corn country as a corn combine. You see Massey Ferguson, your Massey Ferguson dealer, real soon, won't you? He is there to serve you with the finest service and equipment available in the farm machinery field. Massey Ferguson. You know, when I told you a while ago that I was going to sing that little song, I bet you didn't know I'd sound so much like Red Foley, did you? But seeing I got by with that one, I think I'll try another one. Now, don't touch that dial. No, I'm not going to do it out here all alone. Everybody, would you come out here? Minnie, Lou, Shug, boys, everybody, come on. You help me sing the song, will you?
I'll help you do anything, Joseph.
Well, tell you what, now, if Slim Wilson and the band over there will start us on, I thought we might sing that lovely thing, Here, Rattler, Here.
Oh,
Here,
Rattler, here. Here, Rattler, here. Oh, Rattler from the barn. Here, Rattler, here.
Oh, Rattler was a good old dog, as blind as he could be. But every night at supper time, I believe that dog could see. Oh, Rattler screamed the other night, I thought he'd 3 to 2. But when I tried to find it out, he's barking at the moon. Oh, here, Rattler, here. Here, Rattler, here. Here, Rattler, here. How about you all go? And the music shouts fury when she born. It took a jaybird 40 days. Life aboard the horn. We had a old yellow hen. We set her as you know. We set her on 3 buzzard eggs to hatch that world crew. Hey! Here, Rattler, here. Oh, Rattler, fly on. Here, Rattler, here. You try one, will you? I go to Blue Ridge Mountain. They're 40 miles around. I think I'll buy a chop and axe and chop those mountains down. Oh, here,
Now, Rattler said he's on with all the good dogs you do better not act dogs yourself. You see, go there too.
Oh, here, Rattler, here. Here, Rattler, here. Oh, Rattler from the barn. Here, Rattler, here. Here, Rattler, here. Here, Rattler, here. Oh, Rattler from the barn. Here, Rattler, here.
Well, another all too few moments with you is over. It's been an awful lot of fun sitting in for Red Foley at the helm of the Jubilee tonight. I want to thank him for giving us such a wonderful, wonderful lineup to work with. Time to say goodnight now, so to each and every one of you, from me to you, the best of everything till next week. You'll want to remember Carter's Liverfield, the only leading laxative with proof, clinical proof, that it improves liver bile flow that breaks down fat while relieving irregularities. Jubilee USA, each and every week, brings you the good wishes of Massey Ferguson, face setter of modern farming and the nationwide family of Massey Ferguson dealers. Jimmy Davis will act as guest MC on Jubilee USA for Vacationing Red Foley. And he'll have with him Kitty Wells, along with Johnny and Jack, and the whole Jubilee gang. Jubilee USA is produced by Crossroads TV Productions through station KYTV. So until next week, from the heart of the Ozark Mountains, this is Joe Slattery saying, so long, everybody! Champagne music blows your way in a moment. Stay tuned for Lawrence Webb's Dancing Party over the ABC Television Network.